Alright, you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shay. For all of you who are new here, do not forget to like and subscribe. I love you guys so much, and based on the title, you know that this video is called Are You Guilty of Murder? Now, we're going to do something different because I saw you guys gave really good feedback as far as the last video that I posted with the dialogue between my husband and I. So we're going to do a little bit of that again. And this time, again, I have no idea what he wants to talk about. He was just like, sit down, I'm going to give you some questions, and we're going to spit a video out and bring the people some content. So here we are. And here he is. You want to sit here?
Sure, I can switch. Okay, everybody. We are going to talk about murder. Now, when you commit a murder, let's say you've just committed a murder and you have nowhere to go. So you have to call somebody to come get you. So you pick up the phone and you call your friend and you say, hey friend, I need you to come get me from this spot. The person shows up, picks you up, takes you to where you asked them to take you. Well, you got to figure out, I got to get rid of these clothes. So you take off the clothes and you're like, oh man, I have nowhere, I got to get rid of these clothes. So you call another friend and you say, hey friend, come and pick up these clothes for me. Get rid of them. Friend comes over, picks up the clothes, gets rid of them, takes them somewhere and dumps them. You don't know where. Oh, I got to take a shower. So you jump in the shower, but you got to clean up real good. So you call somebody to bring you over some stuff. Now you have no clothes, so you need clothes to be brought to you and everything. So now that's 3 people that you've all came in contact with since you've committed murder. Right? So how many people are you involving in your murder?
Ooh-wee. Murder as in sin.
So you picked up the phone and you called somebody and you said, hey, I'm pregnant. I need you to take me to the clinic. You called your friend. Hey, come drop me off at this girl's house real quick. Knowing you're going over there to do something you have no business doing. You call your child. How many times you taking your child over to your girlfriend's house? And now these are all you're connected in somebody else's sin, and you may not even know it.
Uh-oh.
So how do you go about handling getting into somebody else's sin on accident, not knowing how you did it? So now you're entangled in their mess, or involving other people in your sin, and they don't even know it.
Or how many times we voluntarily would indulge in sin, like...
Correct.
Like, oh, let's smoke this L together.
Right.
Or, oh, let's gossip on the phone.
Correct.
Because it says, don't meddle in other people's business. Okay? God don't like that. So, wow, that's a really good topic. And how many times, again, have you indulged yourself in sin? And not only you, but you've brought other people into it. So, let's all just self-reflect real quick.
Because
repent.
All of those people that you contacted after your murder are now guilty of murder themselves. So if you get arrested, all those people that helped you, they all facilitated in that murder. So how many people are you facilitating in your sin? Right.
Bringing other people into your mess. Uh-oh. And being so selfish to the point where we don't see that we're
bringing them with you.
Bringing them down with you. Because again, every consequence has sin. Or every consequence has a punishment.
Yes.
By God. Every sin, I don't care if it's today or next year when you get punished. Because at some point, your sin will manifest. Okay? If you've been fornicating for a long time, you think, oh, I ain't getting caught. And then all of a sudden, you pregnant. Uh-oh. So not only are you... or you done got somebody pregnant. Okay, let's take it there for the men. So not only are you, now guilty of murder or sin, so to speak, but you've indulged with that person. Then you call your mom, and your mom now knows, like, oh God, I'm pregnant, or oh my gosh, I got her pregnant. Then you add other people into your mess. And it's just like, again, when you say murder, I'm thinking there's blood on not only your hands, but now you're putting blood on other people's hands. That's a really good topic. Do you have any other questions for me?
Well, right back to the first question. How do you not involve other people in that?
The only way to not involve people in your sin is to, one, hold yourself accountable. Like, a lot of people's problems is they're not holding themselves accountable for the things that they're doing. And with holding yourself accountable, it stems from maturity. You have to. It takes a certain level of maturity to be like, okay, I'm a mess. To be like, okay, I'm a wreck. Okay, I like to do this, that, and this and that, and this is who I am. And not only to hold yourself accountable, but to tell God, like, I'm a mess. I'm a disaster even. Like, I'm a disaster, like a train wreck. And God can work with that. God can work with a train wreck. You know who he can't work with? He can't work with the arrogant. He can't work with the proud. He can't work with people who feel like they know everything. He can't work with people that say, oh, there's nothing wrong with me. It's nothing worse than that, than somebody who's like, oh, nothing's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with how I'm living. I'm good. God can't work with that. So, yeah, number one, hold yourself accountable so that other people don't get wrapped into your bull crap. I can say bull crap. Mm-hmm. It's not a cuss word.
No, it's not. How do you keep from getting, it's hard to tell your baby no. You know, when he comes to you with an issue or a problem, how do you stay out of other people's messes?
How you mind your business?
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Because it could be your child that's dragging you into sin with him or her. Ooh. It could be your best friend. It could be your mom. It could be your grandma, your uncle, who's pulling you into the sin with them and not even knowing it. And you're walking into the situation thinking you're going to help, and in reality, you're covering yourself in sin.
Ooh, that's deep.
So how do you... It's hard to say no to family. It's hard to say no to friends sometimes. Yeah.
I'm trying to think back on a time where I had to just mind my business. Like, I think it was the point in my life where people really showed me that they didn't have my best interest, so please stay over there. But my thing is different. Like, I had to distance myself from people, or I would have allowed people to use me. You know how I was. Like, I would allow people to just take and take and take from me, and my heart was so pure that I would just give and give and give, even if it was just my time. Now I'm very cautious with my time. I'm very cautious who I sit up on the phone with. I don't sit on the phone. Like, it's very rare, and I'm talking about maybe once a week, if somebody calls my phone. But if I decide to answer the phone, is a completely different thing, because I'm not wrapping myself up in your mess. I don't want to hear everything that's going on in your life, because
you got enough going on.
I have enough in my life. And you know what? Stay away from people who just want to call you and dump all of their stuff on you. I'm very cautious. You not about to call me and dump all of this stuff on me, and now I'm stuck with my load and your load. No. So stop answering the phone for people if it's just a bunch of mess. That's one. Like, again, it's very easy for me to mind my business because, again, I had to distance myself. But for people who just is available to everybody, stop doing that. You have to understand how valuable you are. I understand how valuable I am now. And access to me is very far and in between. Like,
wives, your husband should be the man that draws the line for you and defends you. He is your first line of defense. He'll be the one to stop all the craziness, and you can speak to this. How many people can actually get near you?
No, not many.
Unless it's your mother, and even her, I keep her a lot of times at arm's length.
Yeah.
and it has nothing to do with my mother-in-law. I'm protecting my wife's peace of mind. Your husband should be the one that takes on the brunt of it all. He's your barrier.
Can I stop you?
Absolutely.
And it took me a very long time to get to the point where it was like, you're trying to control me. Listen, it was people butting heads with my husband. And I'm like, hold on, buddy. Okay? You're trying to control me. You're trying to have people walk out of my life. And you're trying to draw a wedge between me and my people. And then slowly but surely, God began to show me that them not my people. They were never my people. They just put on a happy face. Same people would talk about me. Family members, same people would talk about me. And over time, I began to see that he was just protecting me from things that I couldn't really see.
It's very easy to not see the things when you're in the house. Mm-hmm. It's very easy. It's hard not to see outside of the house. But when you have somebody that's standing on the outside looking in, and I remember having conversations with you saying, you don't see what's going on here?
Yep, with my church people, with my family members. He like, these people are jealous of you. And I'm like,
they would attach themselves and they would try to take her energy, try to take her light like for themselves, and throw extra stuff in the mix of it all. And create this confusion, and my wife at times would leave events and her head would be spinning because of all the things that people had put on her. And it's easy when you can see somebody's calling and try to take that calling for yourself.
Yep, and that's why I tell y'all, like I always tell y'all on this channel, just because you are unaware of your anointing, or just because you're unaware that you're called and chosen, other people can see that. Other people are drawn to a light that you don't even know you have. So
everybody's chosen for something.
But I'm talking about, okay, let's take many are called. Many are called, people called to do everything, lots of things. Mm-hmm. To be a handyman, a carpenter, sheet metalist, a nurse. There are many people called to different things, but there are very few that are chosen. So when I'm talking about people, I'm talking to the people who are chosen. I didn't really understand that I was chosen by God to do a certain thing. And when you carry that light, people tend to want to, they're attracted to it, just like a bug. Mm-hmm. Bugs are attracted to light. And not only do they, go there and just sit at the light, but they'll sit at that light all day. Mm-hmm. Just like you, if you carry a light, people will be attached to you and drawn to you. And you don't even realize that they're taking from you. Okay? And again, what was the question? How to not allow people to draw you into their mess? Stay out of people's business. Listen.
Boy, that can
stay out of people's business, huh?
That could be hard to do sometimes, huh? Especially when they're bringing their business to you.
Yeah, no.
And they're calling you up and saying, "Hey, girl, listen to this."
Yeah, it's not hard for me. Not anymore. It's very easy for me to be like, no, I'm not answering the phone, or I don't answer my phone. Like I had a family member call me, and I'm like, you can text me. I can't allow people to just suck all the life out of me. You're not doing it. You can text me what you need, and I'll respond. But set
strong boundaries.
Yes, getting that energy from me, it's not gonna happen. So yes, absolutely set strong boundaries, because people will suck and suck and suck the life out you
till you're totally drained.
Yeah, till you drain. And now you have to go to God and be like, I'm just so emotionally drained. You crying, you stressed out, you can't understand why you're depressed. It's because people putting all of that negative energy, negative spirits, and all types of stuff. Now you in warfare, not realizing that this is because you can't stay off the phone. This is because you allow people and energies in your space that don't belong. You're allowing spirits in your space that don't belong.
So let's tell a story real quick.
Oh Lord. Okay.
We first met.
Right.
And you're trying to get me to go to church. Now, people, I'm not going to sit up here and pretend to be something I am not. That was one of my biggest things.
Right.
And I would come up with every excuse under the sun not to go to church.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't that guy.
Yep.
And that when my wife met me, that wasn't who I was. So you finally get me to go to church, and I sit there through the whole thing. And what do I come out saying to you?
Which part?
Do you remember?
You said you don't see what's going on here. Is that
you could tell the pastor had the biggest crush on her ever. You could tell that everybody was coming in, and it was just, they were digging in your pockets for every little thing.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of strength and courage for my wife, because my wife had been there for a long time. And then
About 6 years.
And then once I started pointing things out, and you don't have to be pushy about it. You know, just say your piece and leave it alone. If the person
plant the seed.
Yes.
You planted seeds.
If people choose to, listen and go with it, then great. If not, at least you did your part, and now you're not guilty of not saying anything to them. So how hard was it to step out of that box in that church and say, you know what, I do see what's going on here. I gotta make some space in between me and the problem.
It was extremely difficult, because I loved my church. I loved everything about it. And I said this, and I watched a video of me saying this, when you're in an abusive relationship, right? You tend to develop something called Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
You tend to develop something where you don't understand that you're a victim. Mm-hmm. And just like with R. Kelly and those girls, right?
Yeah.
Those young women didn't understand that they were victims of sexual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, every type of abuse. And the church has become the same exact way. And I know for a fact that my husband has been a blessing to me to be able to see certain things. Listen, once everything went left, I was able to see clearly, And when you're sitting in the church every Sunday, every Wednesday, and I'm not talking bad about church. I'm talking about my personal experience. I'm talking about the fact that the church is flawed. I'm talking about the fact that they're not speaking real truth. And it's not my job to, correct it. It's my job to point out the flaws. Because listen, Jesus, he's going to perfect his bride one way or another. Okay. And the church is the people. But when you when you're in those abusive relationships, you don't understand that you're being abused. That makes sense.
It can be scary.
And it's very scary. It's very scary to realize you're going to wake up one day and realize, oh my gosh, I've been pimped.
Yep. And
I was nothing but a prostitute. I would go out, make my money. I would go to work every week. I would punch a clock for 40 hours every week. And then I get to church and I have to give my pimp his 10%. Mm-hmm. Not realizing that that's a false doctrine.
And this just doesn't have to be about the church, people. Replace the word church with whatever it is you have going on.
Absolutely.
We're only using church right now is the analogy because that was the first thing I came up with. I could have came up with some other stuff, but it just is what it is. So replace the word church with whatever you have going on. And yes, it's scary, but you need to take that to God. Whatever it is with your fear that you have. So, all right, we're in the scary part. I'm scared. I don't know how to get out of it. What do I do?
You're scared of what?
To leave.
Scared to leave the church?
Scared to leave any of the situation. We'll use church as the example, but I'm scared to leave because of the unknown.
Yeah, people are afraid of the unknown. So I'm scared to leave the church. I'm scared to leave my family behind. I'm scared to leave
what did you do?
My relationship. These are all things that people are afraid to leave because, again, they're afraid of the unknown. They're like, oh my gosh, I have kids?
Even
how am I going to do this alone?
A codependent parent.
I'm afraid to leave a parent.
Like, it could literally be anything.
Absolutely.
So now you're scared. It's time to go. You've realized the issue. Now you're in the fear part, in trying to figure out how to leave. What do you do?
So, if you see and feel like fear is creeping in, at some point you're gonna have to allow what's on the inside of you, which I pray is the Holy Spirit. You're gonna have to really dig deep and draw from a source that's much bigger than you, right? Like, you have to get to a point where your faith will outweigh it all. At that point, as we're using this example about me leaving that church, my faith had to step in. I had to say, you know what? My purpose, my call, who God called me to be, is so much bigger than the four walls of this church. So by any means necessary, I have to do what I have to do to get there. And sure enough.
Do you think maybe the fear was placed into your head to trick you into staying?
Absolutely. More than likely, yeah. Because fear is not from God. So if it's not from God, it's certainly from Satan. It's certainly from an evil force. Okay? It's certainly demonic, because fear is not of God. I'm currently going through something. I had to say, listen, God, I can't. I'm not gonna continue to get on YouTube and talk about how good you are, and then be living in the fact that of the unknown. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh, it's gonna be bad. I just have to trust God. Period. And one thing about faith is it's gonna get tested. At some point, you're gonna have to either be fearful of what's gonna happen, or you're gonna have to trust God and say, you know what? No matter what happens, God's got me.
And do you feel like you came out of that situation?
Oh, I came out of it. I came out on top.
Now that you're separated, what can you see?
Now that I'm separated, I can 100%. I'm going to try not to cry. I always get emotional. But now that I'm separated, I 100% see that every tear I cried, every moment of uncertainty, every trial, every part of my long suffering was to get me where I'm going. And I'm not even there. This is just the surface of where God's taking me, and I know that. But I'm happy for where I am right now. I'm content with this place. I'm content knowing that this is not it. But
would you be here right now?
If what?
If you stayed?
No. I would not be.
Would you be making this video right now?
I would not be making this video. I would not be on YouTube. I would not be doing any of it, because I'd be content knowing that I'm speaking to them, 30 members at that church, if that. If I was able to have a chance to speak, or do I don't know, whatever they do at church. If I would have stayed, I would have been content with those 30 souls.
Mm-hmm.
Right now.
But now I'm just so thankful to God that He opened my eyes up. I didn't understand at that time why people were hurting me, why people were talking crazy about me, why my pastor and all of these people was just, looking at me like I'm a fool for marrying some white guy, which is really what it was, racist.
Oh yeah.
I'm grateful that those things happen, because now I'm able to reach so many souls in so many different countries. And what better gift than to be free from people? What better gift than to be free from leeches who just suck my energy? Like, what better gift? There is no better gift than that. So listen, I tell you what, there is no better gift than your freedom. And you don't understand it right now, But at some point and in due season, you'll understand exactly why things are happening the way that they are. You can't understand why he keeps breaking your heart, and you can't understand why she keep calling the police on you, and you can't understand why she keep getting you locked up, and all of this drama is happening. You can't understand why your family hates your guts, but at some point, in due season, you will understand that God is trying to free you from what's got you bound.
And
He's trying to
better.
free you from strongholds and make you better. Couldn't have said that better.
You are much more polished and shined since you left that place. And again, everybody, take the word church out and put in your own situation. Because we all have one.
Absolutely.
Every last one of us has
where
one.
we know we need to walk away, but we don't want to walk away sometimes.
You could put the word cigarette in there.
Ooh.
You could put the word weed in there. You could put the word alcohol in there. Fornication, adultery, any of those things, you could replace that and stick your word in there.
Yep.
So, do you think that you would you make the same decision now? Knowing what you know, would you do it all over again the same way?
Yep. Even though
there was hard times.
I was humiliated.
Yep.
We had to live in churches. Absolutely, I'd do it all over again because the wisdom that I have, I know that came from God. And there's certain things that God can tell you, but unless you've experienced those things, it ain't gonna hit us. It's not gonna hit the same. Can you turn that light out? Up.
This one?
Yeah, please.
Pull it up.
No. Just like.
It's up all the way.
Why it look so dark?
Because it's daytime.
Uh-oh. But yeah, even though it was humiliating, even though it was embarrassing, yeah, I'd do it all over again because, again, the spiritual things that I've gained from it, worth more than gold. And at some point, again, you'll be tested in that area. And I just pray and I hope that you get to the point where you say, yeah, I'll walk away again.
In every mistake, in every situation, is a learning experience. Don't take failure and don't take, making a mistake or doing something wrong as a failure. It's not. It's a lesson.
It's growth.
And how many lessons do you think you've learned behind it? You've grown from a child to an adult.
Yeah.
In that time.
Yep.
And the same people that are back there at the church, they're still there.
Yep.
Are they not?
Yep.
Not one of them has left, have they?
Nope.
And they are in the same situation that they were when we left.
Yep.
They're doing the same things they were doing since we left.
Yep.
Nothing has changed for them.
Nope.
No growth.
Nope.
Okay. Have you grown?
Absolutely.
Have you changed?
Absolutely.
Are you thankful for the experience that you have?
Yep.
And there you go.
When I hear, oh, hey Shay, checking in from London. Or hey Shay, checking in from Bahamas. That's been one.
Or we run into them in stores and they look crazy.
Oh, the people that lived at
and
that
you
went
are
to
looking
church. Yeah, looking rough.
And you're looking golden.
No, I'm gonna say I'm looking blessed.
Family intact.
Favored.
Everything's good.
Yep. Yep.
And not to say that you're not going to come up against your fair share of problems.
You will.
You will. Mm-hmm. You absolutely will. But the problems will build you up. The more problems you beat, the bigger you are.
Absolutely. Correct.
So,
this is a really good topic.
Now we're going to go, when family comes and they bring their mess, draw the line.
Yes.
Right? When there's issues at your job, because there's always going to be issues at your job, draw your line.
Yep, boundaries.
Stand firm on it, correct?
10 toes down.
Yeah. So back to the murder case.
Stop letting people put blood on your hands. Period. Walk away.
Because you will get convicted of murder right alongside and have no idea that you even helped commit a murder.
So repent. Turn from your wicked ways. We're going to end this video. It's been a half hour.
All right, y'all.
All right. Until next time. If you want, you can email me at speakhervoice2too@gmail.com. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. God bless. Beautiful.
Go change your shirt.
You should probably. It didn't stop recording.
Oh, you said beautiful.
Yeah, it didn't stop. Why is it not stopping?
Oh, you just got to cut that part.
Oh.